There are basically two kinds of strata. There are bedded strata, and there are cross-bedded strata.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Neff, but I gotta ask this question. Where do you get that music for your videos? I mean, damn, hun. It's mind-numbing, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's not part of your problem. Now, you need to put some rock into your videos, or some good jazz, or Hank Williams. Or, I got an idea, Beethoven. See what I mean, Chunky Monkey? Why your heart will start pumping, your brain will start thumping, your horizons will expand. You might even get over that cannibalistic death cult that you're obsessed with, and you won't have to worry about fitting the square peg of reality into your round hole of superstition.
When we examine bedded strata, and often cross-bedded strata, we notice that they are most commonly organized by granule size. Some strata are not organized by granule size, and this would depend upon the material being laid down at the time. However, whenever a strata is being laid down, which has varying size material granules in it, they are organized by granule size. That is to say that at the bottom of the strata are the largest granules, and at the top are the finest. There's a gradation to it, from larger at the bottom to finer at the top. The evolutionists believe that these strata were laid down over vast amounts of time. At the minimum, many thousands of years, sometimes tens of thousands, and often hundreds of thousands, and in cases millions of years. This is completely preposterous, as has been demonstrated already with hydrology experimentation.
Hydrologic experiments prove the absurdity of long geologic ages? You know, Neff, I've had graduate level courses in hydrology, and I've read a lot of journal articles, and I don't seem to recall that. But thank you for pointing it out. Seriously, Neff, I'm actually very pleased that you're at least dimly aware of a basic hydrologic principle, that if water is moving really fast and has a lot of energy, it can carry really big stuff. But as it loses energy, that stuff settles out, so that we get an upward fining in a lot of sedimentary rocks. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure how you imagine that supports your flood hypothesis. Because, Chunky Monkey, you seem to have missed the point that the sedimentary rock record of the planet is very complicated. You don't see a kind of simplistic upward fining of sediments like you seem to imagine exists. Instead, we've got all kinds of different rocks representing all kinds of different sedimentary environments, and the record is many miles thick. And it's structurally complex. Neff, in one of your videos you presented a few numbers about the average sedimentation rate in the ocean, and I'd like to take your numbers and apply them to a real-life example. I'm sure you recognize the famous White Cliffs of Dover. Now, it wouldn't surprise me in the least to find that you didn't know that the White Cliffs of Dover is almost entirely constructed of trillions and trillions of skeletons of microorganisms called coccoliths. They're also known as nanoplankton. The chalk layer that makes up the Dover Cliffs is a little over 1,300 foot thick. I'm sorry to use the word thick, Neff. I'm sure you're sensitive about it. Now, in a previous video, you told us that the average sedimentation rate in the open ocean was about 0.3 feet per 1,000 years, and that works out to 3/10,000ths of a foot per year. If you divide that number into 1330, then what you get is 4.43 million years it took to deposit the White Cliffs of Dover. There seems to be a problem with your flood model. Doug Kenny, do you have any words for Neff? I think he might be a little down.
You moron.
Sorry about that, Neff. Doug's a ghost, so he doesn't have to be polite anymore. Now, you had this to say about the fossil record.
To become a fossil, it must be buried rapidly.
Yeah, and how is that inconsistent with what geologists teach us? Because you see, fossilization is a rare event. Most things don't get fossilized. And things that do get fossilized, well, there's an automatic bias in the fossil record toward organisms that get buried rapidly. And there are all sorts of environments and events that can bury things rapidly. Doesn't have to be a biblical flood, sweetie.
Virtually all body plans and phylum of life, not all genus, but all body plans and phylum are found in the Cambrian strata.
That bony fish you show, they didn't exist anywhere near the Cambrian, hon. I hate to break that to you.
The truth is, because Cambrian creatures were slow-moving creatures, most of them ocean-going creatures, they were captured first by the flood of Noah and buried rapidly. That is why they are found in the lowest layers.
Oh, interesting idea. So, reptiles could outrun primitive amphibians, so they're higher in the rock column, and mammals could outrun dinosaurs, and they're higher still. Let me think about that a second. What can I say? Your logic is impeccable. Seriously, hon. What you're suggesting is that there were no animals so lame, so sick, or so young that they weren't captured in the floodwaters before they could escape to higher ground. But I'll tell you what might do it for me, babe. Show me a Cambrian carp or yellowfin tuna in the Cambrian. Then you might have a point. Wow, this is going to take a lot longer than I thought because there's so many other things I want to talk to you about with regard to your geology videos. I just don't have time right now. I'll tell you what, I'll get back with you later. You have a sweet night, chubby hubby.
See, I'm too smart for darn Exodus 2.
Well, alright. Just a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Well, alright. Just a little talk with Jesus makes it right.